So Josh, when you're using your scan tool or calibration tool to calibrate and you get a successful calibration, does that necessarily mean it's a quality or a good calibration?
I think that's a great question. I think it's a loaded question. Generally speaking, the scan tool or the diagnostic tool that you're using is going to give you a result. It's going to say successful, completed, passed, something along those lines to indicate that the task is complete. And that means that the software believes the calibration has been performed, but it believes that based on some assumptions. The primary assumption in there is that the technician setting up the target has done their job correctly, that they followed the instructions, that they used the tape measure or the lasers or the levels or strings or plumb bobs, et cetera, and they followed those steps correctly to place that target exactly where it's supposed to be in relationship to the vehicle. And we could also throw into the mix the variable of the environment, that you're doing it in the right environment too, that allows for all of those conditions to be met. What it's not accounting for is that there's a tolerance allowance, and that errors on the technician's part can be introduced into that tolerance, but that's not the reason for that tolerance. The reason for the tolerance is there so that any imperfections in the glass or the camera bracket placement or the camera lens itself are accounted for, and that's the point of the calibration, is so that you can train it through that. So no, just because the tool says it was successful doesn't mean it necessarily was. That's why you hear a lot of people talk about the need for a road test or a dynamic system verification test after you've completed the calibration. You need to go validate that the vehicle is operating correctly.
If you found today's tip helpful, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. Comment below for any future suggestions.
These videos are made possible by SCRS. If you aren't currently a member, I encourage you to join. Visit scrs.com or use the link in the description below.